Hello, good evening, friends. I actually tried to go live. I think I tried to go live at like 8 a.m. this morning and my son hit go live and I think I went live for like 20 seconds and I was like, oh no, these children are far too wild to do this right now. So I'm back at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I guess still is Thursday. So thank you so much, Allison, first for this space and this opportunity. It's really generous of you. Not many groups allow this. So I'm super excited to bring you guys some knowledge about podcasting because just today I've seen 3 separate people ask about 3 separate courses that are quite expensive about starting a podcast. And maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like buying another course about starting your podcast is an utter waste of your money. You do not need another course that you buy that sits in a course thing that you don't do and another thing you don't check off your list. So before I get into it, my name is Jennifer Lee. I am a tech wizard for online entrepreneurs. Most of my clients are people who don't want to do things and they say, Jennifer, please do it for me. So I'm happy to do things for people, but I'm also happy to help you do things yourself. So I really want to debunk what the deal is with podcasts, and I don't understand where the myth almost came from that this is like a tough thing to do, because doing your own podcast is like painting your own kitchen. I don't know if anyone has ever painted a kitchen before. I am not a good painter. I am very slow. So when I painted a regular bedroom, it has taken me a long time to paint it. But painting a kitchen requires so much more taping if you want to do a good job and so much more time to do it. So would you paint your own kitchen? Maybe. I don't know. It depends. It depends how DIY you are. You probably would just hire someone to do it. So I think this may be the deal with podcasts, is people are happy to just not worry about it. But I want to tell you why you need one and why it's a good next logical step for you in your business. And if your coach or you had been speaking to a friend or someone had told you that you should do it, really, you can have it done this weekend. It is not going to take you... Get out of your head. Let's do it, right? So, okay, I've got some notes here, so let me go through them. So, the reason you need to do it now is having a podcast really grows your authority, I think, because of this mysticism behind how you actually do it. So, if you get a podcast up, then people are going to go, wow, she's got a podcast. She's got her shit together, right? And it's no joke. It's the new website. So before, people used to feel this way about websites, but now, there's like Wix and Squarespace. And every time I go to YouTube, I get an ad for one of those folks. So I feel like the podcast has replaced that. So it's definitely going to show that you are making an interesting and different effort in your business by having one. And the next part about it is it's always there working for you. So when you have your podcast up on many different platforms, people can find you, people can link to you, you can post about it in groups and say, oh yeah, I had a podcast about this topic. And podcasts, okay, get out of your head. Podcasts don't need to be an hour long. And honestly, I have all these kids. I don't have time to listen to an hour-long podcast. I get interrupted. So I love the shorter, easier to chew on podcasts. So, make a list of like your top heavy-hitting topics that you're constantly discussing, and those make excellent podcasts. So don't overwhelm yourself that you need to come out with a new podcast or a new episode every month or every week, which just seems like the norm. You could come out with one every month and stay looking very current. And you can create almost like a little library that's very accessible for many people. Also, listening to a podcast, not just growing your authority, it gives people a really cool opportunity to get to know you, and they're going to like you, right? Like, it's just like going live, but maybe a little less, I don't know, livey. So you can do, by doing a podcast, people basically, it's like, they call them like fireside chat, right? Like, it's an intimate talk with someone where you get an opportunity to know them. So it's what I think is the hang up now, so like if you're convinced you need to do it and you've thought about it, a lot of people feel called to do it. I have a turkey. My mom sent me this turkey like just like recently, and my kids were like, "Oh my God, the turkey!" They're 4.5 and 2. And I was like, guys, you can't have that turkey. You're going to destroy it. So that's why I have that up there. I didn't realize he was going to be in the frame. So anyway, so now that you've kind of decided like you want to do it, you've been called to do it. Like some people just feel like compelled that that's something they want to do. You can do it for free. It's going to cost you nothing to do your podcast. So I'm going to go over a quick little tech stack of what you need to do it. And a tech stack is like a fancy way of saying like the things that all connect together to make your one thing go. So you're going to record your podcast with whatever microphone you own. So I'm using like the Beats microphone. It is fine. Any microphone is better than no microphone. Shouting at your laptop is kind of a bummer. Like every laptop has like a little pin microphone in it and it's not very good. So anything that's like plugs in is better than that, including like a phone headset. So that microphone is fine. I love it. Let's use that one to start. So we start with that. You're going to record your episode in Zoom. So you make a call with yourself and you hit record and you record that file. So this is cool if you look cute and put on your eyebrows like I did this morning. They're kind of fading now. Is you can reuse your video that you create from your podcast as snippets online, but like I'm getting ahead of myself. So video or not, we need the audio file from there. It needs to be converted to an MP3. So there's a free website called Cloud Convert that you use to convert that file into an MP3. So now we have your audio file as an MP3. You download a free piece of software called Audacity, and that software lets you edit your podcast. Some people are super aggressive about this. They want to take out every and like. I say like a lot, but I don't agree. It's very time consuming. You can edit like that, but some of the greats don't edit like that because it's a real authentic conversation showcasing yourself. So it's better to work on the way that you want to speak. Like I also know I can start speaking too quickly. So I'll slow down and speak much slower when I realize it and become more aware of my likes. So don't edit quite so aggressively. It's not a good use of your time. So you use Audacity to add your intro and your outro, which you also can record on Zoom. You can find music online. I'll post some links to places where you can find music for your intro, or don't, and just introduce yourself, because we're moving forward with intention and action. So you don't need to get hung up on these details. You can go back and add your own intro later. You can buy the music. The music's like $50 for licensed music that you get to use, like you own it. So don't get hung up on that. So once you've got that thing, you then have to upload it to all the podcast platforms. And without getting too technical, there's a free one owned by Spotify that will publish it's called a feed. It'll publish your RSS feed to all of the podcast guys. And then your podcast is available to download everywhere. Apple, the heavy hitter, because it allows reviews. The other ones don't allow reviews. It can take a while. So let's plan your podcast launch accordingly to make sure that you're not ready and telling people, like it on Apple and it's not there yet. It can take a little bit longer to get up there. So basically that's all you need to do. You go and it's called Anchor FM, the one that's owned by Spotify, and that page lets you publish your podcast. And actually, it's super cool. Once you get logged into it, there's an app for iPhone at least. You can record your podcast right from there. You don't even need to do the extra steps that I'm talking about on your computer, but that's the easiest way if you want to interview folks. But you don't need to interview folks. You can be the podcast yourself. So I'm super excited for you. This could very well be the weekend that you start your podcast. You could start it tomorrow. You could be done and have it uploaded. You need to make a little graphic, but then Anchor FM lets you just like create a podcast graphic that has like words on it, and you can go back and do that later. Like all these details, like they're not necessary to get started, and you don't need to buy a course. So let's say you start your podcast and you get some episodes and you have some gaps. Okay, then maybe you can find the course that's appropriate for you, but you don't need to be like Googling what microphone to buy as long as you have a microphone and you already have one already. So please ask me any questions you have about this process. And if you are interested in talking to me about the parts that you don't want to do, I would be happy to do like some sort of like alongside you package. To give you an idea, I have a smoking good deal on doing this for you. For $500, I will do the first part where I upload it to the internet for you, and I also edit your intro and outro, which you get to keep forever. So if we stop working together, you get your intro and outro that you get to continue to use, and I'll edit your first 4 episodes. And then I'll keep in touch with you as those come live on all the different platforms. And then, so that's for $500. And then going forward, if you want me to do 4 episodes a month for you, I'll do it for $300. So I'm going to drop a link down below to join a podcast list if you want me to keep you in touch about more information on podcasts. If people are really interested in this and want to see like a live demo of it or have more questions, like I could do a Zoom call or something where we just like do it and I show you how it's done. So just gauging interest of what people would like. If you sign up to that list, we can keep in touch and talk more about your podcast, or just do it. Just send it to me. Just send me the podcast that you publish because you moved ahead with intention. Now is the time. The tech didn't get in the way and you decided you're going to paint your kitchen. So anyway, I'm Jennifer Lee. It is super late, so I totally understand that I kind of missed the window, but I'll talk about it next Thursday because I really feel there's a lot of really excellent podcasts out there that are not being made, and it's important to come forward and bring your podcast out to the world and show up for your clients and serve, right? So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good night.